What's going on, guys? Your host Steve here with Geek Boulevard Weekly, a new weekly show delving into the latest news on movies and games. This is going to be a show that I would like to do going forward in addition to the regular film reviews I post on the channel. So if you are not subscribed, please do and tick that bell notification so you can always be notified as soon as I drop new content. With all of that out of the way, let's get into our topics for today. Like a Dragon, Gaiden, the man who erased his name, is officially out and reviews are coming in. Currently, at the time of this recording, on Metacritic, it is sitting at a 79 based on 40 critic reviews, which is pretty good. The general consensus is that the game is fairly short, only consisting of 5 chapters to play through, but serves as a nice bridge between Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. Now, I've only recently finished up Yakuza Kiwami, which is a remake of the first Yakuza, so I have a long ways to go because I'm playing the games in order of release, not in chronological order, so there's still some time that I need to dedicate to get through all of those games. I haven't even played Assassin's Creed Mirage yet. It's been that bad because Spider-Man 2 has been taking up a lot of my time, as you can certainly understand. But there is some bad news for those that are looking to buy a physical release here in the States, as it is only being released digitally. I know, it's a crying shame, but if you are a diehard supporter of physical media, such as myself, you can go on to playasia.com and you can reserve a physical copy, which retails at around $40. Moving on to HBO's The Last of Us, which is set to premiere its second season in 2025, with shooting expected to begin sometime early next year. According to Variety, production has been delayed due to the still ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike, which looks to be in its final days, as SAG is still reviewing the AMPTP's quote best and final offer. So hopefully negotiations can resolve soon and everyone can get back to work. The first season of The Last of Us was a monster hit, which is no surprise. Viewership increased quite significantly as the first episode raked in 4.1 million viewers, while the season finale brought that number to 8.1 million. A while back, we heard from showrunner Craig Mazin that The Last of Us Part 2 would be the next logical step to adapt in terms of narrative, and most likely would split that story into multiple seasons, as we have 2 main characters with a lot of things happening for both of them in between. So it will be a little while before we hear anything more on the upcoming season 2. The Silent Hill 2 remake has seen an interesting leak as of late in regards to one of the franchise's most popular characters, Pyramid Head. Fans have been clamoring for a new chapter in the Silent Hill franchise, and we were in luck back in October 2022 when Konami announced multiple Silent Hill projects in development. One was just recently released onto mobile devices during Halloween, called Ascension, which has received very negative reviews due to the amount of microtransactions involved in order to even play through the story and affect the outcome. The other is a full-fledged remake of Silent Hill 2, releasing by developer Bloober Team, the makers of The Medium and Blair Witch. Now, a user on Twitter screenshotted the Best Buy Canada website under its product description that delves into what the game's story is generally about. Now, what's interesting is this one bullet point that says, quote, fan favorite character, Pyramid Head, makes a return along with a special origin story for fans to play through. I did go on to the Best Buy Canada website to see if that was still there, but unsurprisingly, they updated the product info and no longer includes that. Now, if this ends up being true, we could very well be playing through how Pyramid Head came to be, or possibly even play as him in that specific sequence, which is something that I don't think has been done before, so I'm very excited. We don't have a set release date yet, but it is rumored that the Silent Hill 2 remake is going to release sometime in March 2024, so stay tuned as more updates roll out. Marvel Studios has been having a very interesting week, to say the least. From Variety's worrisome article about the so-called crisis that the MCU finds itself in dealing with the Jonathan Majors situation, the issues with the Blade reboot, VFX troubles, as well as the focus on quantity over quality, Marvel Studios hasn't been able to catch their breath over all this. And now, their newest film, The Marvels, which is set to release this Friday, has hit a record low in terms of pre-sale tickets. The early projections of the opening weekend numbers, according to Deadline, are set to be around a dismal $70 million. The numbers for ticket pre-sales are below even those of DC's worst films, 2022's Black Adam and 2023's The Flash. Upon seeing Black Adam, obviously that was not one of my favorites that Warner Brothers has put out. I actually found it incredibly underwhelming. I know there were some people that thought the action was good, but didn't really like how The Rock played the character, and yeah, I just thought the film all around just was bad. And it is embarrassing to say, but I liked The Flash more than Black Adam at them, but that's just me. Reading this news, though, really disappointed me, as I am a Marvel fan from 7 years old and have watched every MCU title that has been released, all the way from Iron Man up until the current season of Loki. With the Marvels coming out, obviously I'm going to be seeing that. It just goes to show how big of a fan I am. And to see the state that Marvel Studios is in has affected me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I wholeheartedly agree that there is too much content, and most of it is just not good. And it's a wake-up call for Marvel Studios, and I hope they can turn the tide and kind of get back on top to where they were, before Endgame. There is some good news, though, as they did release the first trailer for their new series, Echo, which looks really good. I will admit I was not excited for this show, as I felt her introduction in Hawkeye was very minimal, and I just felt this series was unnecessary. I didn't really care enough about the character. There wasn't enough material in Hawkeye for me to care about the character, but I happily ate my words in that moment. Also, this series will be dropping all 5 episodes at once, both on Disney Plus and Hulu, and will be rated TVMA, Marvel's first mature content ever to be released under the MCU. And that gave me some relief to see that they're kind of going into a more grittier direction with this character. Not only that, it also will be the first series under a new banner, as Marvel Studios has announced what's called Marvel Spotlight. Now, for those that don't know, Marvel Spotlight is a series of comics that told more grittier stories of characters like Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, and such. These comics you can pretty much read without having any prior knowledge of the wider Marvel universe and still enjoy them. You'll still get something out of them. Brad Winderbaum, who is the head of streaming at Marvel, was quoted saying that Marvel Spotlight gives us a platform to bring more grounded, character-driven stories to the screen, and in the case of Echo, focusing on street-level stakes over larger MCU continuity. Just like comics fans didn't need to read Avengers or Fantastic Four to enjoy a Ghost Rider Spotlight comic, our audience doesn't need to have seen other Marvel series to understand what's happening in Maya's story. And I think this is a more confident step in the right direction and allows other audience members who haven't viewed the MCU content until now for whatever reason, because maybe there's just too much, which obviously is the truth, there is way too much, they can watch this show with having little to no knowledge. So I think that's great. Also, this banner opens the door for more mature content down the road. And I wouldn't be surprised if shows such as Moon Knight and the Werewolf by Night special are kind of retrofitted into this banner when it becomes shown on the Disney Plus app, as those pieces of content didn't really have much connection to the overall MCU. So I guess I'm cautiously optimistic about this. It is a step in the right direction, and hopefully Marvel can just get their shit together. That wraps up this first sort of test episode, if you will, of Geek Boulevard Weekly. Stay tuned to the channel because I will be reviewing David Fincher's The Killer, which is dropping exclusively on Netflix this Friday, as well as The Marvels, dropping in theaters also this Friday. I'm hoping it's good, but my expectations are fairly low, to say the least, so maybe I'll be surprised. Those reviews will most likely drop sometime next week. It's just a matter of when I'm able to upload them. But I want to thank all of my subscribers who have stuck with me up to this point. Your support is definitely appreciated. We're almost at 100 subscribers, guys. So once again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, click that button, tick that bell, get notified whenever I drop new videos. Once again, thank you to all you guys for kind of keeping this channel going. I'm really grateful for it. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep it classy and keep it geeky.